Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I am your host, Blind Prime, and for today, I have for you Transformers Studio Series Bumblebee movie Cybertronian style Brawn. Here he is, in all of his brawny glory. Yeah, the puns are alive. We, have to say, I like Brawn. I like him a lot. He is, out of all the stuff to come from the Bumblebee movie studio series stuff that I have picked up, Brawn is now my favorite. Though Ratchet was pretty cool, and I will be talking about Ratchet in a bit, but Brawn holds a special place because I've always wanted a Brawn figure, and they never released Brawns. Brawns never come out. Nobody ever talks about Brawns. You know, you get a Brawn release maybe once, every great once in a while, and I'm super excited to do this. I just I like Brawn. He was a really cool old fighter in the original show. He had that wisdom to him, but he also had the nerve to fight. He was like Cliffjumper, except wiser and more well-rounded. You know, he knew when and when not to act, when and when not to jump off the handle. Braun was pretty well centered. He was a well-rounded character, and even though he was gruff and elderly like Ironhide, he still knew his thing, and he was the elder amongst the scouting robot, the scouting transformers, that really helped them out. Cup came in and followed through with a lot of that later on in the series when Brawn died in the movie. But Cup could never really take Brawn's place when it came to being a on the front lines, wise soldier. Cup had that, but Braun had it more. Braun was cool. I liked Braun, and I hated it to see him die in the movie. Even though he died amazingly, he died trying to kill Megatron to the very end. R.I.P. Braun. Anyway, all right, let's stop talking about that. One more thing about Braun. Braun has a superpower. Braun is one of the few Transformers that actually gains superpowers. This is a thing that many Transformers fans, many of the hardcore ones know about this. And it's that a lot of the Transformers, well, not a lot of them, but quite a few Transformers all have superpowers. Like, for instance, Skywarp can teleport, and Brawn here can do super strength. I can't think of any of the others at the moment, but there are quite a few with unique superpowers. Computron. Computron has a superpower. Computron is literally the smartest thing that there can ever be. Yeah, that's his superpower. He's got an insane amount of intelligence. So that's another one with a superpower. So let's talk about Brawn. We'll go over his size. So first off, we're going to get this handy dandy chart. Since Brawn's head is so far in the middle of this crazy backpack thing he's got going on, I'm going to measure it by the top of the backpack. It just seems like it is actually a part of his body. So he's 15 studs tall. 15? Wow. Bumblebee was 13, if y'all remember from previous episodes. Let's find Bumblebee. Here he is. Do a nice side-by-side comparison of Bumblebee and Brawn. To the back-to-back, Brawn here, his backpack is obviously taller than Bumblebee, but not by much. Only by a few Lego studs. And then we do a side-by-side comparison. You notice their heads are kind of on the same plane, so their heads are about the same height. And I'd say that, Bumblebee being 13 studs tall, then that means that if you were to measure it from Brawn's head, Brawn would be 13 studs tall as well. Here's a Bumblebee in the front, Brawn in behind, to give you an idea of their heads and how Brawn's backpack just kind of looms over the side, and then Bumblebee can completely hide behind Brawn because Brawn is also wider than Bumblebee. All right, that's a nice side-by-side. Brawn, pick up your fist and put Bumblebee where he belongs. That's right. Okay, so let's talk about Brawn in his shape. So we'll discuss his accessories and then move into the actual body. So accessory number one is this really nice gun. It's a decent gun. It feels similar to Optimus Prime's Ion Blaster from the Earthrise toy line, except that's only the barrel part. The rest of it is a different mold entirely, and it's pretty unique. It's got some pipes in there and some electronic textures and little pistons and stuff, I guess. It's a nice textured gun. It's a decent little gun, and it's kind of big. It's almost to his head. So I would say this gun is 11 studs tall. That's not a bad gun. And then he also comes with this weird uh, try thing. It's a cone that has 3 points. So it's got these 3 lines that come down, and it would be neat if they could open, and you could open this up wide and then make it into a Brawn shield or something. Um, but it's all right for what it is. You can't really put a blast effect in here, and I use it more. I put it in his other hand as kind of a bashing weapon because I can't really think when I put it on the other weapon, it just makes it so heavy. It makes it too heavy, and his shoulder joints aren't strong enough to hold it up. Yeah, it's a weird auger style thing, but it's not an auger. It's just three. It's a triangle into a cone. It's odd. It's an odd weapon, but it's just one piece. You set off to the side. Actually, if you wanted to put it into your like Transformer city, I could see this being used as a smokestack or something, like some sort of weird sci-fi cooling tower piece for anything that you were building. If you're building a little Transformer city, you could probably use that part in there. All right, let's talk about this guy, Brawn. So Brawn has got a weird backpack, and it reminds me heavily of 1 second. Oh, there it goes. Cool. It reminds me heavily of a Grunt from Halo. This dude's got the Grunt's core body from Halo. Like the head is stuck inside this weird environmental suit thing, and then it comes over the top of his head slightly. It reminds me so much of Grunts. I just what in the world? It's so odd. Um, Other than the crazy Grunt armor he's wearing as his core body suit, and he's got a really cool head. It's got an amazing helmet. It reminds me a lot of like a Roman helmet, except it's got the pieces that come down on either side of the jawline, like not a Roman helmet, more like a Spartan helmet, like because it comes down on either side of his face, and then the only place where you can actually see any part of his face is right in the middle of all that armor. That's a cool helmet. I love this head sculpt, and I hate the fact that the majority of this head sculpt is sealed away in this weird armor structure. Like, why does it have to have such a bulbous top? Why didn't they have to trim that down so you could get access to more of this amazing head? This helmet is so cool. I like it. I really like the head sculpt, but I can't get in there between the pieces of armor to actually feel the face to tell you if he's got like he's got one of those face masks on or something. I've never known. I do know that a lot of Transformers wear face masks, and it doesn't seem to hurt them. And let's move into his arms. A negative about his arms is that these shoulder connections that he has are very small because of his transformation, and they're not very sturdy. I kept his hand holding this gun that he came with the other piece on the end of it because I was like, it's a big gun. And then I came out and his arm was down, and I realized that the joint in his shoulder is just too weak to hold that gun up when it has the extra weight added to the tip of it. But so he's got weak shoulders, which is a shame because even Bumblebee with all of his flaws, even Bumblebee's got stronger shoulders than Brawn, and that's saying something. That's saying something. Brawn, you really need some stronger shoulders. Arm-wise, the texturing, it's this weird, smooth, rounded textures, like a 80s space movie kind of thing. So it reminds me a lot of the 80s Transformers movie in the roundness and sleekness of this design. Like, if it wasn't so insanely rounded, it's like Michael Bay meets the original Transformers movie, and they came up with designs from that. It's decent. He's got a So we'll talk about the core more. No, we've already talked about the core and how it's a weird grunt core. It's so odd. The other arm has got the same looseness in the shoulder, and it's both arms do have double jointed elbows, which is wow. You don't get many Transformers with double jointed elbows, so that's cool. I really appreciate that. The waist does spin 180, and the up and down motions for the legs on the hips is very tight, but the side to side is a little loose, very similar to the Ultra Magnus. I don't think they ever managed to fix Ultra Magnus's side to side looseness. The knees are only single jointed knees unless you want to untransform it slightly to get a better joint, but then you're left with a lot of untransformed parts because when this guy untransforms, it's big. This is a very fun transformation. The foot has the typical side-to-side stabilization bit that they do have for the ankle, and because of his transformation, he's got some toe pivot. So his toes can pivot down, and you can have him actually like gripping the side of something. That's pretty neat. All in all, this is a very nice little dude. He's compact. I would say that I'm a little off about the price because of the fact that he's such a small transformer and he's basically the size of Bumblebee. I would have paid 15 for him, but 20 is the 21 I paid for him, and that's a little much. That's a little much, but the transformation makes up for it because it is a very enjoyable and fun transformation, and it has some surprises. And I always enjoy a transformation with surprises that's also intuitive. It took me a little while to figure this guy out because his Cybertronian vehicle mode is so unique. It's just so never come across. I've never come across it before, and I can't wait to show it to you. I'm super excited about this. And the Blindformers episode where I talked to you about how to transform Brawn here is going to be really fun because it's I like his transformation as much as I like Cyclonus' transformation. That tells you anything. Other than that, this guy's got 4 siege ports, one on the bottom of each of his feet, and then one on each of his hands. And then he's got 1 siege peg right above his head on his backpack area. And that's actually where you're supposed to store his gun when you transform him, even though it's not long enough to actually hold the gun stable. And that's a shame. They could have made this just a millimeter longer, just a little bit longer, and it would have worked out pretty well. But for what it is, it's all right. I'll accept it. This is definitely a not if you are like me and you've always wanted a Brawn, then this is a must-have for you. You do need a Brawn in your collection. But if you're just looking at this like, do I want to get this for my Transformer stuff? The transformation's kind of worth it. It is a fun transformation, but I don't know what to say. It's up to you. Like, I made the decision because I wanted a Brawn, and whatever decision you make, it will be yours to make based on the what you have to work with. And I wish you the best. I personally think that this could have been a better figure, but I am very happy with it, if that makes sense to you, because it makes sense to me. This isn't a super ecstatic, I'm going to buy a bunch of them, I really love this guy. But it is I am very happy with the purchase that I made. I wish it could have been better, but it is a decent representation of Brawn, and it is very fun. The double jointed elbows are just so cool. And his head sculpt. I love his head sculpt. I really love his head sculpt. Alright, well, anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and doing all the things. Comment below. Tell me, do you like Brawn? Did you enjoy Brawn in the show? Do you even know who Brawn is? Talk to me about it in the comments. Who is Brawn to you? Is he just the guy on the paper towels? The one that has the beard, not the one that's shaved. The one that's shaved is not brawny. That is not a real. No. I will only accept brawny towels from the bearded brawny man, because the bearded brawny man's where it's at. I feel strong enough in my own sexuality to say that was a handsome man right there. Yeah. Brawny man with the facial hair was a strong individual. He looked cool. Brawny man without the facial hair, he looks like somebody you find at a club. And I don't really feel that. Like, no, it's not brawny to me. That's just a dude. That's just a dude. Name went from a brawny dude to just a dude. All right, well, that's enough of my brawny rant. Until next Pride. Bye-bye for now.